Hello and welcome to this online presentation of our true nature. Our true nature is who we are. It's attributeless. And another word for our true nature is the self, which is also known as awareness, consciousness, the God self, the I am. It doesn't really matter what name we call ourselves because we are it. I say, do you exist? You say yes. That is it. Full stop, period. But we have set up a mind and we can't do away with the mind. It's something that we set up so that we could experience. And so let me go into the realms of the mind. There are 3 realms that we identify with. In this image, I've made the subject, which is the self, into an object, just so that there's a visual concept. So if that is the self, the attributeless self, the 3 arrows indicate the 3 realms of experience that are available to us. So we are the self, we're perfect, we're whole, we're complete, there's nothing to fix, change, improve. There are no energies there, there's no love, there's no good, no bad, there's nothing. But it's not nothing as the psychological mind would interpretate nothing. That would sound boring. So words can't do us any justice. It's just the direct experience. But what I'm hoping this presentation will do is to make it clearer to why we don't experience the self consistently is because of the identification that the self identifies with. So if you could just imagine that that's the self, and if you could imagine a screen, like a TV screen, and then behind that screen are the 3 realms of experience. So we have the causal realm. In the causal realm, we experience the body of bliss and the body of wisdom. In the astral realm, we experience the body of mentalism and the body of emotions. And in the carnal realm, we experience the physical body. Before I go into discussing each realm and the bodies, one way to recognize this is during the day, we can be identified with any of those realms, and they're not really separate. I've separated them so that we can talk about them, but they're not really separate. But if you imagine that, for example, we've been in the causal realm all day, we've been in the body of bliss and the body of wisdom, and we've probably tapped into a little bit into the body of emotions, but the predominant state is the body of bliss and the body of wisdom. When we put our head on our pillow and go to sleep at night, there are no bodies there. It's just the self. It's just pure awareness. So that demonstrates that we are not stuck in any of the realms. We cannot be stuck in them because it's like a screen that is before those realms, and we're looking through that screen and having the experience of being in one of the realms. So the first realm I'm going to talk about is the causal realm of experience. And the first body we're going to look at is the body of bliss. And that has a sense of alert aliveness or alive alertness. It's where the recognition that attention, focused attention, is imagined. It's not an easy thing to put into words, but if I know pointing say turn the attention inwards, and that's a very good pointing, but once the attention turns inwards, if we take the attention and drop it from the head into the chest, and then imagine that the attention is going to the back, then there's no attention, and it becomes alert seeing. And that's what is experienced in the body of bliss. It's alive alertness. Some of the attributes to the body of bliss is alertness and bliss, which is what I mentioned, awareness. There's a sense of completeness, but it's not the complete with a contrast of incomplete. It's more like it's just is. It is. It's non-dual and it's stillness. And that is the direct experience of the body of bliss. If we have a look at the other body that is also in the causal realm, which is the body of wisdom, allowing all forms to arise effortlessly. So the wisdom body is likened to supreme intelligence, but there is no thinker there. It's just knowing without there being a knower. And some of the attributes to the body of wisdom is wisdom, understanding, truth, knowing, love, joy, and happiness. My experience of seated in the self is that the body of bliss and the body of wisdom become like the perfume. They are just so natural. They're very, very close to our true nature, extremely close, very, very subtle. And that's why it is often missed. Now, I just want to talk about some faculties that we've got, and I've called them higher faculties. They're not really higher. But these faculties, they appear to us effortlessly when we are seated in the body of wisdom, because they're known as thinking faculties. If we what tends to happen from my experience is these faculties effortlessly, or it's experienced as they effortlessly come to the beingness who is not really identified with the body of bliss and the body of wisdom. It's like the beingness just is, and the causal realm, words don't do this any justice. The causal realm is available. It's really difficult to explain. I'm going to have a go. But the point I'm making here is that these 6 faculties, these are the creative faculties: perception, will, memory, reason, imagination, and intuition. Now, there's no picking up of these faculties to create, but it's as if the perception, there's an awareness that perception is present. There's an awareness that the will is present, that it's that knowing that we can will something to happen. Memory is not the same as past. Memory is remembering thyself. It doesn't have any history to it. Reason is one of the faculties that we can use if we find ourselves getting caught and identified with the lower realms. We use the reasoning factor to say, is this true? Or whatever mantra we've got. But the reasoning is to bring the beingness back to its original state of consciousness. Imagination is, I've often said that the attention is imagined. Imagination is probably one of the most active or one of the most obvious faculties. And then, of course, we've got intuition. Intuition is just that knowing. These higher faculties, they are available to the being. They're available to us in every single realm, but they're experienced slightly different from the body of wisdom. If we come down to the astral realm of experience, we have a look at the body of mentalism. Now, the body of mentalism is where we are able to have concepts, point of view. We can imagine a thinker. We experience mental activity, and we experience past and future. They're just experiences. It doesn't mean that if somebody is operating in the astral realm, that they are lower than somebody in the causal realm, because we're not bodies. It's just the energy field. So if we're seated in the causal realm, it's very subtle, it's very soft, it's absolute bliss and freedom. Nothing to do, nothing to fix, change, not even to visualize. It just is that place where everything is absolutely okay. It's like a relief. If you have let's just say that you have a bill, and you've got to pay this bill. You cannot get out of paying this bill. And it sets off the wanting security and survival, because, oh my God, I've got to buy food, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And then you get a phone call from the person that sent you the bill to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We sent it to the wrong person. You owe us absolutely nothing. In fact, we owe you. It's that feeling of, oh, that relief. That is letting go of the lower realms. And that's the feeling that everybody's experienced that, but it's experiencing that over and over and over. It's the relief. It's the, oh, thank God. Thank God. We don't really experience that in this realm with concepts, point of view, thinker, and so forth, because the mind is active and busy. But that relief is more likened to the astral realm of experience. So, in the realm of mentalism, what the mind tends to do is comments, measures, and describes. It's like a tape recorder. It records everything that you say, and then it repeats it back. So one of the ways to overcome the realm of the mind, where mentalism and the mind's just having opinions, if you're strong enough and established, you can just ignore it, knowing it's not who you are. But some of us are not able to do that. And this is where I say the thank you mantra is really, really beneficial and very powerful, because this part of the mind doesn't know how to say thank you, but it can repeat it. So if you use your mouth and say thank you, thank you, thank you, not thank you for anything or anyone, just simple thank you, what tends to happen is you ramp up the vibration. It very quickly you start to feel gratitude. You just feel gratitude, and you keep on saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And as you're saying thank you, things are coming up for you to say thank you for. And even if a negative thought comes up, you say thank you, as if to say thank you for showing me what was in the way of me being free. You say thank you for everything. If you do that for long enough, I did it for 24 hours and it had some massive shifts. I literally, under my breath, went about my day, and I was just saying thank you under my breath without moving my lips when I was in the presence of other people. And thank you was going on inside in the chest area. And then the head caught hold of it, and the head was just saying thank you, which is fine, because there's no psychological problem if the mind is saying thank you, because it's that part of the mind that just comments and just keeps on repeating. It's like listening to a song on the radio and it keeps repeating in your mind. That's the mechanism of the psychological mind. It doesn't really do anything. It apart from comment, measure, and describes. It's just mental activity. So the mantra of thank you, because thank you, it's such a simple thing to say, just constantly saying thank you. when the thinking mind gets hold of it, that's all that it will be saying back to you. Okay, let's move on. And we come down to the body of emotions. What I've done with the body of emotions is I've just looked through the Sedona method. And I think the way that Lester Levenson identified 9 emotions is beautiful. And so he literally covered all of the emotional states that we could experience, which are apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, pride, courageousness, acceptance, and peace. And we experience those emotions. When we are feeling an emotion, we are in the emotional body, which is just below the body of mentalism. The emotions, we can let go of them. There's different techniques. My God, there's hundreds of techniques. We can do away with the emotions, but also in the realm of emotions, we have resistance to what is like a contraction. So there's all sorts going on in these two realms, mentalism and emotional realm. And of course, we experience that when we identify with the astral realm. And the last realm that we identify with is the physical realm. And that's where we have a physical experience. In the physical realm, we experience mobility, nutrition, sleep, rest, the 5 senses, and the world. And this is where things can get really sticky for us, identifying with the body. And it's probably one of the biggest identifications because for many years I believed I was a body. Even though there was a knowing that I wasn't absolutely that, there was still that inherent belief. With the realms, as I've drawn here, you can actually see that the attention is what gives birth to the realms. Well, the bottom 2 realms anyway, because in the top realm, the causal realm, the alert seeing, it's that attention turning inward, dropping it from the head to the chest or even the tummy area, but the chest area is good. And then using imagination to imagine that the attention is going into the back, and that widens the gaze, and the attention going out is no more because it's gone back, and there's alert seeing. That's one of the portals to the causal realm. But the attention goes out to the astral realm and connects with the 2 bodies, the body of mentalism and the body of emotions. And the attention goes out also to the physical realm and identifies with the body, the 5 senses, other people, and the world. I hope this has brought some light. If I wrap this up, we are the self. We cannot grow into the self. There is nothing wrong with us. There never has been. There never could be, because we are attributeless. We set up this thing called a mind, and through the mind, we have 3 realms of experience. We experience the body of bliss and the body of wisdom in the causal realm. We experience the body of mentalism and emotions in the astral realm, and we experience the physical world in the physical realm. We cannot fix, change, or improve anything in the realms because that's what they are. So if one has had enough of being identified with the physical realm and the astral realm, then it's to come back to the self, the absolute, and keep coming back to the self. And by doing that, the body of bliss and the body of wisdom become the perfume to the self. So there's no mental activity, there's no mind, everything becomes crystal clear. And And it's just a beautiful experience of bliss and pure cosmic intelligence. Thank you so much for watching. I do have some courses coming up and some programs in relation to outgrowing the ego, and pointing to who and what you are. That is the ultimate, is to self-realize and embody that truth. Realizing it once doesn't very often do it. It's the embodiment of that, the self. It's the reaffirmation over and over and over. And the quickest way to do it is to sit as the self with no mind. And sometimes we need a little bit of support, somebody to communicate with. And that is why I'm offering programs, courses, one-to-one sessions. I'm not here to teach, but I know that teaching just comes through this vessel. I don't even have an opinion on teaching because people tell me it's teaching. I'm just talking. I'm just talking. So if you do want to reach out to me, my contact details are here. I've got a website where you can use the contact form and contact me through the website, or you can contact me through either of the 2 email addresses that are available. I'd like to thank you for taking time to listen to this presentation. I hope it has been useful. Just remember that you are perfect, whole, complete. There's nothing to fix, change, or improve. It's just the identification with the lower realms. And when we identify with the lower realms, we feel as though it is us. It's not who you are. It really isn't who you are. Who you are is indescribable. Who you are is all powerful and all knowing. Thank you so much.